I was talking to Rodney Dockchild because he did the Michael Jackson Invisible, and I said what problem I had with the album was the fact that they
You know what? By the way, you
yeah.
know what? Not to cut you off, but I got about like 6 songs that we didn't. You know what happened, man? One day Rodney went to the Lakers game instead of staying at the studio waiting for Mike to come to the studio. So they called us up and they let us in, right? And I started recording, and then I got like about like 6, man. I got 6 joints that me and Bob did on that for the album, Invisible album.
With Michael on it.
Maybe 3 of them. Michael is on there. Yeah.
So
He would call. He would call from his car, and he'd be like, he talked to the engineer, and he had the engineer put it up to the speaker. So if it was really really fire, he would come in. If it was okay, he'd be like, tell Tim and Bob to keep on working. They're doing a good job. You know what I mean? Da, da, da. I'm gonna turn around and go home and get some sleep. But yeah, I got about like 3 or 4 with his voice on there. Yeah, I do.
Is the track finished or was it still in a demo?
No, finished, man. And you know, so crazy back then. It was crazy because he had well, you probably don't because I don't know if you came to Los Angeles a lot, but it was a studio called Marvin's Room. That was his studio. So that was Marvin Gaye's old studio, right?
Okay.
So he was only one thing, he was scared to go in the booth because he was thinking that ghosts would be in the booth. So he put the mic. So he would set up a mic right there at the booth at the console right there, and then boom stands. He would have mics all over the place. Do you know, man? He'd do like 4. He'd be like if you want to stack his vocals, he'd do like 4 right there, 4 to the on the left side of the room, 5 on the other side of the room, and then 5 on the back. Man, he used to feel all the like that was multi tracks back then, so it wasn't Pro Tools back then. Do you know, man? He used to feel the whole. We had to put another reel on there because the first reel will be all his backgrounds, man.
Wow.
It was crazy, man, how his work ethic. That's why, man, he's one of the best, man, because he really, really worked his butt. That's one thing that you can't say that, Michael, you know, he didn't really come in and do anything. He just did this and left. Nah, man, he worked his butt off, man.
Yeah, but okay, how did you first get to meet him then?
From his manager, man, that ran A&M Records at first. So that was John McClain, yeah.
Okay.
So John McClain came after Juro over at DreamWorks.
Yeah.
So we had to work with John a lot because we already had a label over there before he came over. So when he came over, out of nowhere, now I'm at home just chilling, man, eating fruit, man, just watching it. And then we got a call, man. It was like, hey, man, how would y'all like to come work with Mike, man? This is after Thong Song came out, right? It was like, man, what do y'all think about coming in and working with Mike? So I was like, hey, man, who is this, man? They was like, man, this is the assistant engineer, man. Get y'all stuff ready, man. I'm like, huh? So hold on. He said, hold on for a second. So then John got on the phone, right? So John gets on the phone. He was like, hey, I was instructed from Michael Jackson to call y'all 2 up. Y'all grab everything y'all want. If y'all don't want to do that, we got everything y'all would ever need at the studio. Y'all got an hour to get here, man. And I was like, y'all got to be kidding me. So I called Bob up, man, and we just jetted up to the studio, man. We was there every day for about like 2-3 weeks, man.
How was it like the first time you met Mike? What was that like?
Mike, man, is when I tell you, man, Mike was a beat. Mike was one of them dudes. He was real soft spoken, right? But when it was time to do the track, he would eat your head off, man. It was like he was 2 different dudes, man.
What do you mean he'll eat your head off?
It was like he'd be like, hey, how you doing? You know, da, 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 da. Track come on, and all of a sudden, man, he like, okay, hold on, wait a minute. And then, man, he sound like his voice would just change like night and day, man. He was like when you first meet him, man, he was all soft and all that. But when that track came on, man, he was like a lion, man. He'll bite your head clean off, man.
But
It
you went
really
in,
would.
were you intimidated when you first saw him? Was that
Not really, because we kind of knew the whole family. We already knew the whole family before we met Mike. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's
So
what he said. He says there was a video of you guys in Encino with a Jackson with one of the Jackson family children.
yeah, with Tito. Yeah,
Okay.
so we already worked at Tito's studio, and we worked with Jackie, and we talked to all of. We knew everybody. You know what I'm saying? So we already knew they all had a certain aura about themselves. So they all kind of acted and sounded the same. You know what I mean? So when we met Mike, it was the same thing, man. So after a while, man, that was Dream. So we got to DreamWorks. So nothing intimidated me back then because I worked on so many artists before then. I
Hmm.
was just trying to get a record on there, man. And we almost did, not quite, man. We was right there. And I was like, dang, man. But you
Yeah.
know what? I'm glad that the History album, we got we ended up doing one with Dallas on there. So I got
Uh,
the plaque over there too. I don't know.
which
Here, let me see if I'm not clumsy enough. But can you see that over there? See
yeah, yeah.
Beyonce.
So
That's
which
Beyonce's first solo album. And then right under that is Michael Jackson. That was I think that album right there, the History album, was I sold a lot. That's like only 12 million right there. I think that sold like about like worldwide like 25 million, man.
yeah,
25, 30. That
yeah,
was a big seller, man.
it yeah, it doesn't say the yeah, I think yeah, it was about 20 something, yeah, million. But let me see the tracks you did that Dallas did. Um, I think that he
Don't worry,
did
I'm not. Don't worry, I'm not. My credits is not on there because
this time
the last.
around. That's the one with Biggie.
Yeah, then my drums right there, man.
Oh, ding 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 ding
Yeah,
ding. Okay.
and then the drums too. I gave him the Dallas. So back then, it wasn't like, how now, man, when you see tracks being made, it's like 8 or 9 producers on there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
It wasn't like that in the '90s, man. It was like the biggest person was the one that got the credit. Everybody else, if you got the credit, cool. If not, you just have to just take one with the team, man, and just move.
Yeah, no, no, yeah, yeah. Then the songs you so when you finished the songs and he didn't make it, did you ever get in touch with the estate, John McClane, to say, hey, I've got this. If you're looking at doing another album, here's some of the songs that we finished on him.
I was too young, man. I wasn't
No, I'm
thinking,
talking
man.
about now, especially now that they're constantly looking to trying because some producers like Will I Am says no, I'm not going to give them this track because Mike would never have wanted it out. But there's some that are looking and say, hey, this is some tracks we did because I think they're looking for that.
You know what? I just never looked into that, man. But you just gave me the idea, man. So I don't know why not. I might reach out to him because I know everybody. I know John McClane is still ahead of his estate,
Yeah.
and he's a real good friend of mine. Matter of fact, man, he the one that played the guitar on Black Cat, him and Jelly Bean, but John did the solo on there. John is, man, when I tell you, man, I can remember some time he used to walk in the studio with me and Bob, and he'd be like, "What's that right there, man?" We'd be like, "Oh, this is something we came up with." He was like, "Hey, man," and so we used to have a whole bunch of guitars lined up, right? He'd be like, "Hey, man, can I plug one up and play with y'all, man?" I'm like, "Yeah." Man, do you know we used to be, man, like, I don't know, like 2 hours, man, just gigging, man.
Wow.
He's so dope on the guitar, it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
You would Nobody knows it, man. John McClane, he's one of the best guitar players I've ever been around, man.
Yeah, but he's elusive. No pictures, no interviews. He just no one knows. If you walk past you wouldn't even know because he doesn't. He's not in the public eye. So he's been
Yeah.
like that for a
And
long
you know
time.
what? He had a stroke too.
Oh,
He had a stroke, man. So when he had a stroke, man, he really went invisible, man. It was
okay.
hard to get a hold of, man. Like he had a
Okay.
stroke, and I think that he left the industry for a minute, and then he came back because um, only people that trusted. I mean, Mike was the only one that out of everybody, man, he trusted Jon. So that's why he left John McClain as the head of his
Exactly.
estate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he's a bad. When I tell you, man, hey man, he'll have an act smoking, man. He is so dope, man, on the guitar. You'll be surprised on how good he is, man. Cause he'll be at work, man. He don't even say nothing, man. He's at work, man. Like when he used to be at DreamWorks, so we had to, cause we was right around the corner from his our
Okay.
office was. So we had to go in there and report to him and talk to him and this and that. All of a sudden, he get in the studio, man, and grab the guitar. We're like, what? How'd you get this good, man? Golly.
Yeah.
He was better than me and Bob, man. He was crazy.
Think come back to the three tracks you did with Mike. Are they ballads? Are they up tempo? What type of tracks are they?
Up tempos. Yeah. I did like 6 or 7. So you know what? Believe it or not, on Invincible, man, he had Devante do a lot.
Huh?
He had Dallas do a lot. Dallas did some. Rodney did more than what's on there, and then Teddy did more too, and then he had me and Bob do a lot. So there's a lot of producers, man, that probably got some you know, probably Devante, he probably got his own set too. He probably got because the assistant engineers was telling us, man, like they was like, hey man, Devante was in here, man, and he tried some stuff, but he got tired, man, of Mike wouldn't come in. He'd be like, put the phone up to the ear, to the thing, and be like, oh, I love that, man. You know what? Keep on going. I'm going to turn around. You know what I mean? So I guess Devante got tired of hearing that, man. You know what I mean? But for me, I was like, if I just get one on here, man,
Yeah.
that's all it is. So we did together, me and Bob did about like 7 or 8. And I think most of them was up tempo, and then one of them was a slow song, like a slow mid. But the rest of them was up. You know what
But
I
he
mean?
only recorded his vocals on 3 with you guys.
Yeah, I got his vocals on 3 of them though. Yeah,
Wow. Yeah, I mean, definitely would
yeah,
be great. Yeah, I think if you do reach out to John and say, "Look, well, you remember that time, what we could, get your lawyer to strike a deal with them, and they'll definitely put it out. So, especially
and
for they're coming up with the biopic. I think it's coming out next year. When it comes out, they may put a soundtrack on that, and they may look for songs, and that definitely will be something that will get the fans going crazy to buy. Some
yeah.
unreleased Michael Jackson songs.
When I think about it, man, when none of them didn't make it, John was like, "Hey, you know what? Why don't y'all try one with Wanye, man? He loves Wanye voice, man." I remember I got one with Wanye too, and it was crazy, man. But I don't know what happened, man. I don't even know if Mike even heard it, man. Cause I think he was done with his album by then. But the lyrics, everything is crazy, man. I mean, we was hopping up and down, going crazy on this song, man. But
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
know what
I
don't know
would
what happened, man.
I would say that they have a Michael Jackson biopic coming out. They would need a soundtrack, if they're not going to re-record some of his hits. But that's an opportunity for them to do a soundtrack with some of these unreleased songs. So it might be worth getting one of your lawyer to talk to have a meeting with John McClain, just to see what you guys can do about that. If
Yeah,
Mike's actually singing the full, because I think the issue they had when they released the last album was the fact that they didn't use somebody sounded like Mike, and they put out the album saying it was Mike, and then it came out that actually it wasn't truly Mike on the album, and so there was a lot of issues around that. So now I'm sure they're really careful about making sure that whatever they're putting out, make sure that his name is truly on. He actually did record that. So
you know
yeah,
what? What you saying is crazy because if you go on YouTube, man, they regenerated his voice, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of songs, AI, a lot of the producers or somebody used AI, and it's about 10 of them. You're like, okay, did he really do this, man? Or like,
yeah,
which album did this should have been on or whatever? But it sounds brand new. It's because they're using AI, man. There's a lot of tracks, man, from Mike is on there, man.
Yeah, but there's also
been him, man.
Yeah, but there's also a guy who imitates his voice almost to the T. And when he sang some songs, you say, "Oh, that's Mike." So even before AI, so I think
right
that but you know, so it might be, as I said, it might be worth getting in touch with Jon to say, look, we what can we do about these tracks, and see what they say. I'm sure they'll strike a deal because they will need to put out some new music soon.
Yeah, but, that's a good idea, man. I'm glad you mentioned that to me, man, because I never even thought about it. I ain't gonna even lie. Because you know what? I got so many tracks from so many people. You know what I mean? And that's just one I just didn't even think of, man. But you gave me the idea, man. So if it do make it, I'm gonna have to give you a percentage, man, because you came up with the idea, man. I never even thought about talking to Jon about the records that we did. I never did.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of Halftime Chat. Please remember to subscribe, share, and comment. But most importantly, why don't you become a member of Halftime Chat? We've got amazing videos, amazing perks, and being able to support the channel. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care.
I never participated in that category.
And somewhere in between us, or even loving us, on which I did miss you with.
What was it like growing up?
She's still making an impact on 4 houses down.
I have a couple of pieces.
Trying to get this one and that one.
That works for you, but just for me,
No, okay, you're okay.
They don't understand what Jonas Boyz II Men all
Play it.
I mean, I love all different genres.